Welcome back to Post Time. I love getting to know our horsemen and women, and sometimes I get to know them along with you guys. And here we have Kasei Ross with me today. Now, Kasei, tell us, how did you get into racing? Where are you from originally?
So I'm originally from Maine. I got into the horses when I was young. I started out in riding horses. I actually learned on a ride on a retired standardbred. So then my mom got remarried and I ended up working horses, race horses. And I was like, oh, hey, look, horses I don't have to spend money on. So I got into that. And then I decided that I was going to have a couple of my own. And so I ended up with an older mare that I raced out, and I raced her to the end of her racing career, and I said, well, let's try this breeding game. So bred her, got Rose. I've had Rose her whole life.
Okay.
So she's done a lot for me as far as training goes. She's definitely taught me a lot.
So we're talking about Burnin Roses, who is a mare that's racing here at Harrington Raceway. Well, tell us a little bit more. So you're the breeder on her. So were you the one who was there the day she was born?
Yep. I foaled her out at a friend's house. We watched the mare. We foaled her out. I helped her stand because she had legs longer than she was, and was there for her from day one. So it's been kind of nice to see her grow up and seeing the memories on Facebook of 6 years ago when she was just a little thing making nasty faces instead of the big thing making nasty faces.
I was going to ask you about her personality. Is she sort of like, does she get away with everything because she's sort of like, Mom, you're going to let me do it, so I'm just going to bully you around?
No, she knows her job, and she's too smart to be a racehorse. That's half of her problem. I know how she's going to be for a driver when they sit behind her and touch the lines. I know, I watching her score down. I'm like, she's not going to participate. She's sitting there laughing at them. They're not going to make her do anything. So she knows what she can get away with and what she can't get away with. She makes nasty faces, but she's actually the sweetest horse you can have. She loves everybody except for Dr. Kevin, who she likes to push his buttons very much.
Well, a lot of our kids don't like doctors, so that's par for the course.
She loves all the female doctors. She will stand perfect and behave for most of them. But Dr. Kevin, she's like, I'm going to be rude to you.
Okay. So she loves a girl. She's a girl's girl. She likes to fix crowns. You know what I mean? That's okay. That's okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about the first time that we met, I believe, was when you were taking care of Heineken by the Bay, who's a DSBF champion, and Kevin Switzer was the trainer, made a huge impact in our breeding program here in Delaware. So is that kind of what you were doing for a while? You were caring for horses?
Yep, I started out as a groom doing horses up in Maine, and came down to Delaware one winter because Maine doesn't race in the winter, and fell in love with it, fell in love with the area, fell in love with the people, and said, I'm going to breed my mare down here, so I come back down here. And it wasn't too long, like it set it out as a 2-year plan, you know. I said, I'll be back by the time this mare's 2, or this baby's 2 and ready to race. And then Kevin said, well, I get a job for you. And I was like, all right, when can I start? And that was the end of it. And now I'm in Delaware.
And now you're here to stay. Love it. Now, training Burnin Roses obviously isn't your only job. You have something else. Like, talk about what you do.
So I am also a veterinary technician for Delmarva Equine Clinic here in Delaware. So that's dealing with client horses, foaling, regular yearly calls like the vaccines and whatnot, going out to ERs, pretty much everything. We start in the truck, and when we're in the truck until the truck parks. So
When you say that, let's talk about the hours. You say when you're getting the truck, like what time does that start in the morning?
So we usually start right around 8:15. I take care of Rose before that, so I'm usually up early. And then sometimes we don't get done till 8:30, 9 o'clock, depending on if you're with the on-call doctor, you're with the on-call doctor. And if they've got calls till midnight, then that's where you are until they can let you go.
Wow. All right. So, working with horses obviously isn't everyone's cup of tea. We're talking about a 7-day-a-week deal. If you have, a horse that you have to care for all the time, and then you've got a horse and then you're a vet tech as well. Why do you love horses? Why do you love harness racing? Why do you want to be around these beautiful animals?
Just because that's what they are. They're big, beautiful animals. They love their job. We ask them to do things, and they just do it. They're lesson horses that tote kids around, the therapy horses that tote the special needs kids around, the harness horses and the thoroughbreds that are bred to do their job. They all have something that they're good at. And to see them succeed in their job is just, like watching Rose grow up and training her and watching her get her first win. That's one for the books.
It's got to give you a lot of pride, a lot of great feelings. Rose is around forever, probably.
Yeah, Rose is basically a lifer. My parents watch her from back home. My grandmother watches her from down in Florida. She is basically the family horse, so she's not going anywhere.
Thank you so much, Kasei, for being on the show. And best of luck with Burnin Roses.
Thank you. We're going to need it.